Frankie for years. You know, isn't that funny?
And so you say you felt that the Lindy died. What?
The dance died.
The dance.
Well,
what remembrance
a war
do you have?
came in.
Well, yeah. Well,
Now,
what memories do you have of
when
Mama
the
Lou
war
Parks and
came
what
in,
she did?
It changed the semantics at the Savoy. The big bands had to be broken up. There was no way of reviving what we knew. We knew the life of big bands. Well, now, there are no big bands anymore. I mean, all of that's gone. So everybody went in a different direction. How we all got back together again, it sure has been strange how we got back together.
And so when that was happening and Mama Lou Parks was sharing the dance.
Mama Lou filled the void. She was, because everybody left the Savoy. And when Whitey left the Savoy, she stepped in. And that's how I knew about Mama Lou. I never saw Mama Lou Parks dances, never. And that was, you met, now when did you meet Mama Lou?
In '79.
Yeah, well.
But I wasn't looking for Lindy. I didn't know, I mean, I knew about Lindy Hop. I had heard it and throwing people in the air, but I never thought I'd be doing that.
Yeah.
I love tap dancing. I was a tap dancer.
Right.
That's what I was kind of striving for. And really more so
Didn't
for
you
the
do
love of it.
Didn't you do the gong show?
Yeah, so I went to California, I did the gong show, I met Fayard, I studied with Fayard.
Oh.
But that's when Fayard wasn't doing nothing, you know,
Yeah.
and he had nothing to do, so he would teach
He was teaching.
And Mr. Jackson's studio, Gene Jackson.
Yeah.
Who was an R-ganger, by the way, in the silent R-ganger.
Yeah.
And a great man, Gene Jackson. So anyway, the wind blew me back east, I'm back in New York, and I'm trying to tap dance. You know, so I'm with Honey Coles, he invited me to a showcase he was having. It was like 2 people in the place.
Really?
I'm there in my costume, my little routine, and then I'm sitting there at the bar talking to this one-legged guy with a crutch.
Was Jimmy Valentine?
No, this was Alfred Farley, who was affiliated with Mama Lou. We just sitting there talking because it was no show. You know, it was supposed to be a show. Few people came in, they had a few drinks. So me and Honey, he's got me on the stage and he's just showing me some stuff, and I'm, you know, and
Did you know Honey Coles?
I know of him.
yeah. So anyway,
The dean of tap dancers?
definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was honored to be there, you know, even though it wasn't much of a showcase. But I met Alfred there. We talked, you know, you exchange numbers and whatnot. And he
Al
gave,
Hibbs?
no. I met Al later, but Alfred Farley, one-legged guy with a crutch to dance with Mama Lou. And the number he gave me, he said his manager or something, it was Mama Lou. So I called her, and I mean, I thought she was some big agent or something. I didn't know nothing from nothing. And she said to send her pictures and come up to Smalls. And on Sunday we have a rehearsal and maybe we could do a little tap number in our show or whatever. And I went in there and people was flying and moving fast and kicking. I was like, oh man, that's the, well, we called it jitterbug, excuse me. Please. But I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. You know, and you were talking about Tops and Wilda.
Yeah.
My first inspiration that day was Tops's daughter, Crystal. She was dancing like she had the Holy Ghost, and then she threw her partner in the air. And I was like, wow, Dougie was his name. And that was my first, you know, introduction to that world. It's
And you said her name was Crystal or
Small's
Krista?
Paradise.
Crystal or Krista?
Crystal,
Well,
Crysto, and Dougie was her partner. So I mean, I didn't
Who
know
did you
anybody
dance
there.
with in Mama Lou?
Well, when I first, you know, I was a novice in the beginning. I didn't.
But who did you dance
I
with?
begged Waco, one of her main dancers, to be my partner, and he was like, "I ain't doing that. Oh, I'm on my back and my love." You know, I said, "I need somebody to dance with." But I was going to the rehearsals, learning, and you know, new people were coming in, and it got down to the wire where everybody had a partner, and I had an opportunity to go to the Felt Forum. You know, like the old Madison Square Garden, and had, you know, changed and moved to the Felt Forum. I had that opportunity, so Waco finally, he decided to be my partner, and I got, you know, I went to the Felt Forum and just kept going to the rehearsal, you know, it's part of the game, you know, now, and then you meet other people now. As far as Norma, 1 year, maybe 2 years later, didn't have a partner, that's where I met Stony, one of her dancers.
Well, that was when I came back and redid the Norma Miller dances.
1980.
But,
What was
in
Waco's
Iran.
last name? What was
Right.
Waco's last name?
Back. He was in Europe for years.
5 years.
Oh, wow.
And he had to come
He was
back.
the last
with
of the
Shaw
Americans to
business.
get out of Iran. Yeah.
What was Waco's last name?
Stony Martin.
Arnold.
Waco Arnold.
Which
No,
honor?
she's talking about Waco.
Oh, who's
And-
Waco?
One of Mama Lou's dancers that I danced with in the beginning.
See, that whole period, I didn't
Yeah,
know any of them. I didn't know any of Mama Lou dancers. Well, see, these were periods of a time when things were changing continuously. But when I decided that the dancing was coming back, I had the Norma Miller dancers. And we were traveling, at the time we were traveling with O&J. And when I got back, Stony, this is when I had my new trio. And Stony brought Darlene as his, because you always chose your own partners. I never interfered with who you danced with. And he brought Darlene, and she joined the second revival. And where was our first job?
At the Village Gate.
When I did the show at the Village Gate?
Village Gate, John Hendricks.
John Hendricks.
Sandman Sins.
Oh, and Eddie Bearfield's
Eddie
orchestra.
Bearfield's, yep.
That was the first time we revived the Lindy Hop show, and that was at the Village Gate in New York.
The old Village Gate, they
The
done
old-
moved
yeah,
it now.
yeah,
It's,
right.
ugh,
Yes.
it's
I
a
remember
CBS
that,
now.
And that
CBS.
started the whole new revival. Now I want to talk to Frankie. And I said, the time has come now, because the dancers are asking me questions. I can't give them no answer, because I can't do nothing for a male dancer. I said, we need the male dancer to show. And Frankie reluctantly, we used to go out dancing every Monday night at Small's Paradise. And Al Mims used to bring his students up from downtown. Did you ever come to Small's Paradise on Monday?
No.
Oh.
How long, when did you start dancing at Small's Paradise again? Do you remember? Like what time period?
When was that? Shoot, damn, the years have passed. I know they used to have a Monday night dance.
Right.
So I'd go, hey, Frankie, we're going to be dancing at Small's Paradise. And that's what we always liked doing. We enjoyed dancing. And it continued like that until, hey, listen, it's about time you got the hell out of this post office. And he looked at me and said, are you, because you know, you're not giving up no pay. The difference is a paycheck. And when you get a paycheck every month or every week, and against no paycheck, because I didn't have a job to give him, but I thought he should inspire the new dancers, and that's what he did. He came back and started the teaching at Sandra Cameron Dance Studio. He started down there. And that's how it started. He got that feel back to dancing, and no one loved dancing more than Frankie. It was his lifeblood, yeah.
And that was our rehearsal spot with Norma in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's where Stony took me.
Yeah. So there we are.
Yeah.
I said, how the hell did I was going to be a comedian. Who the hell was dancing?
And I knew her partner before her.
Yeah.
Billy Ricker, because Stony used to bring up, when we were practicing with Mama Lou, you know, he wanted Billy Ricker to look at what we were doing.
Yeah.
And Billy was there, frowned up.
Stony was the
"What is that?"
first dancer to die with AIDS. He was the first dancer.
Yeah,
he
man.
came back from Iran, and what he had, nobody had a name for it, but he was the first one of the dancers to fall prey to this thing called AIDS, and that was Stony. Because when we went to the hospital, we had to put on masks and everything, and that's when we realized this shit is serious. Stony was the first victim. Isn't that amazing?
85.
That's
He
right.
died. He passed
That's
in
right.
85.
And nobody knew it was until he was in the grave. Now you got a name for it. Because there was no name for it. Because we used to say, well, what's wrong, Stony? You're going to the hospital, you're going to the doctor every day. What did they tell you?
And when he told me he was in like multiple cancers, like multiple.
And all of a sudden, we're in the midst of the first person of the art world was Stoney. In the grave, then they gave it a name. And now we know the name AIDS. And that's how that name started. Then they start falling like dominoes. I mean, all of a sudden, this one is gone, this one. And all the art world, one by one, was become victims to this new dance, this new disease that nobody knew how you got it. Then they found out it was sexual. Oh shit, that's when it hit the fan. Because up until then, you didn't know, they thought it was monkeys and all this kind of shit. Now, it's serious, because Michael Bennett, Michael Peters, all the great artists, they're all dropping. And that was our first introduction to this. Isn't that amazing? And I mean, I was living with Stoney. Me and Stoney are living together, and he's got this disease, and I didn't know nothing about it. Yeah.
And he danced all the way to the end.
Oh yeah.
He danced.
He could dance.
The Copacetic show was the last show that we did that he danced in.
Yeah.
And that was December. So I think January
Yeah.
and February is when he passed.
But leave it to Stoney to have something that nobody else had. Stoney was just
Started
he
off.
said, "Goddamn Stoney, you go." Did you know Stoney? Oh God, he was gorgeous.
He was a Mama Lou Parks dancer?
No, he was
Norma.
But at that time, he was just coming back to America from overseas.
From Iran.
And he was just, hanging out. I guess he found out about the rehearsals, and he was there, ready to dance.
Yeah.
Do you have any footage of your dancers? Like a view
Yeah.
from the day?
Don't we?
Yeah.
Don't you? You haven't dug it up?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Village Gate shows, the LaGuardia.
Yeah, didn't we do the show? Wasn't the show at the Village Gate recorded?
Yes, yes.
I've seen the
You've
ending
seen
where
it?
you dance with Billy, Al, and Frankie.
Oh no, that was the comeback.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time we had been together since Rio.
Okay.
Yeah, that was when they all was there that night. I opened with the show, and Al, Billy Ricker, and Frankie came to the